some very organized severe weather in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas for Sunday and Monday, Tuesday. I'm using this new program, so I'm going to make sure that it is working the way it needs to be real quick. Yep, it is. All right, this is Jack Williams here. I'm going to be going over some forecast data and kind of giving everyone a update regarding what's going on with this system. Kind of pointing out some pretty good information. Make sure it looks good. It does. Okay. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and use the GFS model. This is for, we're going to go ahead and look at the 500 millbar wind speeds. We're going to go ahead and look at the, now one of the things I noticed, at least on the GFS model, is that as we go through Sunday, what we see is it actually starts to ramp up here pretty significantly. This is 3 o'clock Sunday, October 10th. I will be going down here. I will start over near Childress, Texas. That may change. It probably will change. As it continues, this is 0Z Monday. What you'll see is it actually becomes a little bit more positively tilted here with a slight negative tilt. And as it continues, you get a little bit of a more of a negative tilt in this area. This is 06Z Monday, October 11th. And you have this particular area is what I'm concerned with. I know initiation is going to be over here further towards the west on the border between Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma. And it's going to continue on and go in through areas of Oklahoma as the day progresses. The key is to get on top of these as they actually initiate. Once they initiate, uh, 5 to 6 hours after they initiate, I'm expecting some not so clear bases on the supercells because it's going to become linear quite quick. So um, we're going to go ahead and fast forward this a little bit further here. Now it becomes this first initial primer system right here. This is 12Z Monday. Still pretty potent. It's more positive tilt. And this is the Big Kahuna right here. So this is the GFS model right here, guys. And this is 00Z Wednesday. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. 21Z Wednesday, 21Z Tuesday. Really nice ejection here with absolute incredible stacked wind profiles. And as it progresses, it ejects northeast into Iowa, northern Kansas. So I do expect there to be somewhat of a severe weather setup as well over here in extreme western Iowa and southern Minnesota on Wednesday. And it progresses and it weakens generally. Now, this is just one particular model. One of the other things we're going to go ahead and look at here is the surface temperatures. Now, caprock will have enhanced ejection off of the caprock, and it's a very typical area for severe weather to initiate at, given the situation regarding the storm system here. We're going to look at temperatures. This is 21Z Sunday. We're already looking at 90s, 90s, 80s, mid 80s, upper 80s across much of Oklahoma. And where you see this, where they're going to initiate at, you're looking at 85 and 90-degree temperatures, and that's very potent. That's some pretty good temperatures. It's going to have some very good thermal lift, and especially with the ejection coming up off the caprock there, it's going to cause some. It's going to make for some very interesting supercells to develop. One of the other things we're going to look at here is a surface-based CAPE, and this is the GFS model, and it's not doing a very good job on the surface-based CAPE right now. Uh, I would definitely expect much higher values. I do not agree with that at all. We're going to look at the supercell composite real quick. And this is the GFS model here. And then again, it's underdoing it slightly. We're going to go over the NAM model. And the NAM is what I use for a couple days out. Then I switch over to HRRR. And we're going to go ahead. This is 18Z. This is the supercell composite for Sunday. And this is 21Z here, Sunday. And I expect it to go up over Childress and Elk area, Oklahoma. And as they progress, they're going to become much more organized, much more supercellular. And then after 7 and 9 o'clock, most of this will become linear with embedded rotation, possibly some significant rotation with those with that linear line that develops. And I think that as it progresses during the day on Monday, I expect it to possibly, depending, it could very well intensify again as well. These are the tornado parameters here for Sunday. Now, there's some things I don't agree with this. This is 00Z Monday. That's too late. Initiation is going to start over here near Childress in this general area right here. Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle border. And I believe it will start earlier based off enhanced caprock as well as other factors that I'm counting in on. And so I would say between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock right now is what I'm going to be conditionally forecasting for this general area where my cursor is right here. And tornado parameters, they're pretty decent. Um, I like this setup. So we're getting some higher numbers. I think that placement slightly off, maybe about 15, 25, 30 miles, but that's to be a given. So we're going to go ahead and look at the simulated reflectivity here for this timing. And this is what I'm talking about. This is 21Z Sunday. This general area over here is where we're going to start to see these go up. And then I expect, due to the massive thermodynamics in place, that we'll have some cells start to fire off in the Texas Panhandle, Amarillo, point southeast towards Childress, but the real activity won't start till later on between 1 and 4 o'clock, and it really starts to ramp up during those times, becomes linear, and progresses outward. This is what I'm talking about here in this general area with it becoming embedded rotation in it. I'm expecting this to become a pretty potent line with some strong embedded rotation as well. One of the other things we're going to look at the HRRR, and this is the model that I use very often, and I've used very often this year. Um, this is what I'm talking about here. All right, so we're going to flip up to Sunday here. All right, this is 10Z. This is early morning hours here on Sunday. I'm want you to watch very carefully. This is what I'm talking about, the initial development here in Central Texas Panhandle, 14Z Sunday. That's going to be key to determining where these actual supercells fire up. It's going to possibly set a boundary up that needs to be monitored. As you can see right here from the first wave, see what I'm talking about? It's going to set up a boundary, but dependent on where that boundary sets up, that's where we're going to have initiation. So paying attention to radar early morning hours on Sunday, finding out where that boundary is in visible satellite imagery will play a big factor in intercepting. But I want everyone to see this here. This is 23Z Sunday, prime time. Massive supercell complex right through here. At this point, anything that does develop most likely will become rain wrapped, rain induced. The timing I don't agree with. I believe we're going to have initiation start further back over into this area near Childress. And as it progresses, it's going to be much stronger supercellular activity. We're going to look at dew point temperature real quick for Sunday. We have a good amount of ejection from the Gulf coming up into this area. And this is the boundary area right here that I was talking about. And this is what I love to see. This is what we like to call a dry line bulge. A dry line bulge is a noteworthy indicator of a good tornado setup. You want to be on the eastern side of that bulge where it bulges out. And this is what I'm talking about. 23Z Sunday, we're talking about 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and where that supercellular, massive supercellular storm that HRRR is indicating is also where this bulge is going to be. But that's going to change because at the surface, when we intercept, we're going to use dew point. We're going to use weather instrumentation to find out where this bulge is at the surface. So we know where it's at, and we're not just relying on data, we're actually relying on surface information that's live. So wherever this bulge is, in this general area, you're going to have a very strong tornado potential, and it's a very strong cut. We have 60s, upper 60s on this side with 30s and 20s on that side. Absolutely incredible. The Vernon, Texas tornado event was very similar to this, but this is a very much more potent system than that was. I do really like this system a lot. I expect there to be some incredible things happening. This is the other thing that I was talking about. HRRR, this is the surface-based CAPE, measures the instability in the atmosphere. And this one is, we're talking between 1800 and 2200 CAPE in that area where you have that bulge, supercellular bulge. You have your dry line right here. Ejection from the Gulf, streaming moisture in, and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and look at the supercell composite. We're going to skip ahead, and this is a supercell composite, and it's also in agreement with timing and placement. And what I agree with, 22Z, we're starting to have a clear indication of where this is going to be. and then it blossoms at 23Z. 4, 5, 6 o'clock is when things really start to get going, but initiation, I believe, will start a little further out. You want to be on the initiation as it goes up because you're going to have a lot of good clear slots. After 7, 8, 9 o'clock, it becomes linear with strong embedded rotation as a good possibility. We're going to look at the tornado parameters. This is the HRRR, and you can see the warm front. I mean, not warm front. You can see the dry front right here. Dry line. You can see the dry line right here. You can make it out. It's incredibly clear. And like I said, between 3 and 8 o'clock is when the tornado parameters go up exponentially. We're talking 23Z right now, already blossoming, and then we're talking tornado parameters between a 4 and 6 in this general area right here, where we have the bulge and the dew point and massive ejection off Caprock and ejection from the Gulf, providing plenty of instability and moisture. And this is what we like to call the updraft helicity. This gives us an idea of how strong the updraft is going to be. And we're looking at easily 240 to 280 in some areas on the updraft. Helicity sloth is basically an indication of supercell track and intensity and initiation location. So we have 23Z Sunday. I expect this to be a little bit further over this area, but it's going to be very conditional. Wherever that bulge is where you'll have initiation. And then I expect it to blossom from there. Simulated echo tops I use for hail core density with updraft. And as you can see, we're looking at 40 and 50,000, 45 to 55,000 feet at 23Z on that initial supercell it's HRRR is pointing at. And then it goes up to 50 and 60,000 feet from that point on and goes from there. And if you look at the lightning density, and this is flashes within a 5-minute period, you can see on this that, and with tornadic type supercells, you have immense amount of cloud to ground lightning. CG indicates rapid strengthening of the supercellular structure, and you have that type of model that's indicating that here. So this concludes this briefing regarding the severe weather event on Sunday through Monday. And I will be out. I will be leaving tomorrow night, probably about 11 o'clock at night, driving all the way out to, I'd say probably Childress, and then finding out where that dry line is, and then advancing further east, finding where that dry line bulge is, because that's going to be key. Hope everyone has a great night, and I will see everyone out there. You're welcome, Austin, Chad. Yes, Chad, I agree. Donald. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Casey. Renee, good night, all. I appreciate everyone joining me. It means a lot. I really do. We'll be uh, we'll be out there documenting, researching, and filming. Me and